Hello traders, in this video we're going to go over the June results and the year-to-date results of my SPXL trading plan, and that is using this Webull account that you see right in front of you. You can see our cumulative P&L, and this is just year-to-date, and we are up 85.27. That is not a big impressive number, but there are a lot of little details that you may not see right away that I'm going to share with you so that you can see that, hey, these are meaningful results, and these numbers are going to continue to grow. I mean, you could see at the beginning of the year we had a little bit of a dip, and just things have just been slowly and steadily going up. And we have broken out, we've been a little bit higher than this 85. You can see here 87.98 I think was our highest high, but we're heading back up, and I'm sure we will break out of those previous highs eventually. So the reason why the P&L isn't much greater than it is, effectively it could be pretty easily 3 times what it is, which is a considerable difference. And the reason why it isn't is because we're trading a cash account. So you can see the total account value here, which is quite small relatively speaking. And if I show you the total account value over time, you could see that back in January we were trading with a much smaller account, $885. And over time we've grown it mostly through deposits. That should be obvious because here you can see the P&L. So the rest of the money, it's about $970, is through deposits. So what this means is that as the account continues to grow and eventually gets over $25,000, which is the PDT level, then we could start trading with the full account size on every trade, and we're effectively going to 3x all of our results, right? So if we were doing that right now, we would have 3 times this P&L value. So anyway, the potential to make money with this trading plan is definitely there. We've made over 16%, I believe, this year based on the actual amount of money that we're using to trade with on every trade. So that's pretty remarkable. We're looking at a 30% return annually with this trading plan. Let me go to this Word document here because there's some details here that I wanted to share with you. I've kind of gone over this already. Real money results, year-to-date trading with 1/3 of the small account. So in January 2023, the account was 885. As of July 1st, that was yesterday, the account's 1940. It's still the same today. So as I said, mostly due to deposits as we continue to prove the profitability of the SPXL plan. You've seen the P&L, that's just with 1/3 of the account, and therefore you can see that I've deposited $970 into the account since January 2023, and I'm going to continue to deposit money. And I'm also going to give you my final thoughts, even though there's a lot more to this video. I want to throw this out here right away because I want to kind of plant this seed in your head. Trading is a long journey. You hear that all the time, but maybe what you don't hear is attempts to circumvent that journey will almost always certainly result in losses, but can also be lessons learned if you use the correct perception. A losing trade, or this is really important here, a losing trade or a losing month doesn't necessarily mean you've done something wrong. It can mean that, but just because you've had a losing trade or a losing month or red month doesn't mean that what you're doing is wrong. But if you get through a whole year of trading, especially trading something the exact same way, and you end up with a red year, then you're probably doing something wrong, and that's a sign that you need to shift and rethink your trading strategy and trading plan. So the other stuff I want to go over, I went over this in the last video. Again, here's our stats right now, 13 months of real money trading with this trading plan, 147 trades. And the highlights of this trading plan, this is, again, for people who are not familiar, absolutely 0 predictions are required. It's not affected by news. So the movement of the market is affected by news, but you don't adjust your trading because some bad news came out or some good news came out. You always trade the exact same way every day, and you could see from my results that it works so far. Never holds positions overnight. That's really key because I don't want to be affected by the gaps ups or gap ups and gap downs of the market that we often see in the extended hours. So we're not affected by that. The trades only take place during normal market trading hours, except for closing the trade. I close it right after the market closes. So technically that is during the extended hours, but if I'm around, I close it right at 4 o'clock, a few seconds after. If I'm not around, I close it before the extended market hours ends, which is 8 p.m. So entries are executed automatically. We use buy stop orders to do that. So I place the order in a position based on my trading strategy and trading plan, and it just sits there. And if the price doesn't come up to that level, then no trade occurs. If the price comes up and hits that level, then I'm in a trade. And that whole process of setting up those orders and closing them only takes about 5 minutes per day. There's some days where you don't do anything other than adjust your orders, so it could be way less than that. So it's not time consuming. You can have a life outside of trading, which is something I enjoy. And yeah, as I said, you don't need to be around during market hours. So how did I get to this point with this trading plan? I developed a simple trading plan with rigid rules. So the rules are not flexible whatsoever. You can't break them. You can't bend them. And we only trade the daily time frame of SPXL, and there will be this link in the description of the video if you're interested in the trading plan. Otherwise, I think you can still learn a lot from this video and the information I'm sharing. I back tested this trading plan during the worst S&P 500 market conditions. You can pull up an S&P chart like the SPX or even the SPY, and you'll see this. From January 1st to May 24th, 2022, the market just completely sold off. It lost a lot of money, but my SPXL backtesting data was profitable during that period, so that is what encouraged me to move forward. So then I did real money forward testing, which is with So we talked about backtesting. Forward testing is like kind of instead of just looking back on the market and collecting data and seeing if your idea works. Forward testing is real time. You're taking trades every single day, collecting data and seeing if it works in the real world. And we did that for 100 trades. Again, proved profitable, and that's why I'm still trading this thing. Now we're at traded 147. I'm using real money and larger position size than when we were testing it. So you can read all of this data here. I think this is pretty impressive that during this during the period of 100 trades that we forward tested, we had an ROI of over 13%, and the market was essentially flat during that time. And right now, as of July, I should have updated that to July 2nd, we've taken 147 trades, and we're currently up $18 per share. So that means that if you're trading one share, that's your P&L. But if you're trading 10 shares, that's $180. 100 shares, $1,800. 1,000 shares, $18,000. So on and so forth. You would have to have a considerably large account to trade those share sizes, but it's just showing you what's possible with this trading plan. The total ROI, 24.81%. During that same period, the S&P only went up 11.8%. So again, that's pretty impressive. But I want to say this, the goal is not to always beat the market. The goal is to be profitable long-term and minimize risk and stress. That's huge. If you're too stressed out with however you're trading, you're not going to be able to maintain it long-term. And the way that we remove the stress from the trading is we never hold shares overnight. This is not a hold and hope strategy. So let's move on. I think, yeah, this stuff I gave away already at the beginning. So now we can look at the spreadsheet and we can see all the data that I've collected. So this is my trade tracking spreadsheet. You could see my June P&L. Again, these are per share numbers. So that's 281 per share. Multiply that by 10, 100, 1,000 to see what you could get with a larger account. You can do that with all of those numbers there. So June was a very busy month. Here is the beginning of June. This is all of June right here. You could see that we've taken a lot of trades for this trading plan. That's 15 trades. We can only take up to one trade per day, so that's a lot. There was only 1 week where we were never triggered into a trade, and that's right here. And you could see that it was a good month, really, overall, because we started the month, the last day of May, we had 1530 per share again, and we ended with 1811. We did hit a high of 1847 really early because we had two big winning trades, but you just have to keep trading and doing the same thing every day and just think about the long term, because there's no way to know that, okay, on the second day I was going to hit the all-time high for the month. We just don't know that. That doesn't happen every month. In fact, if I just go back to the previous month, you could see that I guess something kind of similar happened here where we had 1604 on our second trade and then down to 1530. But again, it's the overall. You can see that overall we're making money every month except for, I think, February. But the interesting thing is here, because I scale my trades, so that's an 82-cent per share loss. And you can see January we were green. But if I go to the Webull account and show you the February P&L, you'll see that we were actually green just ever so slightly during that month. And I think that's generally because I scale my trades. So I'll try to explain that. I can't really get into too much detail with that. And anyway, if you're trading a plan like this or any new plan, you should be trading with one single share until you've proven it profitable for 100 trades or more. So sorry, let me get to this February. So there, you could see that we actually made $1.76. Not anything to brag about, but we were actually green in the month of February, when if we were just trading one single share, we were red. So that's where the scaling my position size comes into play. So as my account size grows, I can increase my position size. I'll show you that on the spreadsheet, how that works. I do have a spreadsheet very similar to this available on Patreon as well. And I also have videos showing you how to use it, which I think is even more important. So here is my share size calculator, and you can see right now it's telling me I can buy 7 shares. And if, let's say that I hit like a losing streak and my account size goes down, let's drop it down to, let's say $1,800. Now I can only buy 6 shares, right? So that's how the scaling works. And this essentially keeps you from being able to blow up your account. If you kept your share size constant, as your account size goes down, you're taking on much more risk relative to your account size, and you could easily blow up your account. But this keeps that from happening. If I go down to, like, say 1,200, now I can only trade 4 shares. So that kind of allows you some time to regain your losses. Now, that hasn't really ever happened for a long period of time, but I think February is a good example of how that played out. So this is all of my stats, and I've looked at P&L for these different periods just for fun, really. The only thing I'm concerned about is trading periods of 100 trades or greater. But this is just really as a lesson to show you that, hey, look, in 50 trades, we were very green, and then in the next 50 trades, we were a little bit red. So you really do need to have a long view of your results. And now look at how we're doing year to date. We're up $12.41 per share. That's from trade 81 to 147. And this is just another period that I'm looking at from trade 101 to 147. And I'll just go till we have 50 trades here, and then we'll start a new period that we'll look at. So that's just, more data, and it's just enlightening, I think, especially to new traders. Again, I'm not that concerned about it. I'm more concerned about the long term, and you should be as well. But if you're just starting out and trying something new, then you might want to consider looking at shorter time frames. P&L per share, this is overall $18.11. That's, again, per share. Here's our win rate, 57%. And wins and losses, total trades, average cost per trade per share, again, is $72.99. That's based on the share price of SPXL, so that changes a lot. And I use that number to figure out the ROI. And right now, we're up almost 25% since day one of trading. And the year, we're up less. But let's just finish looking at this, and then we'll look at the year chart, the year spreadsheet. So this is the average loser, average winner. You'll see that changed considerably year to date, and our average P&L per share per trade is 12 cents. That's pretty typical. That's I haven't done a big study on what other traders make per share per trade, but all you really need here is for this to be a positive number, and you're profitable. So don't be alarmed by how small that number is. Then this is my P&L curve. This is since day one, so you can see that it was pretty erratic, especially I think the first 6 months or so, and then ever since, this is really the beginning of the year, I believe. Right here you can see that we've just been slowly climbing, and we have broken out over our previous highs at this point here, and now we are slightly below them but heading back up. So we'll see what happens there. Here's my year-to-date chart, spreadsheet I should say, and this has just the data from trade number 81, because that was our first trade of the year, to 147. And you can see here the stats are similar but a little bit different. The win rate's a little lower, but notice our average loser, average winner. Average winner is much greater than our average loser, and our P&L per share per trade is 19 cents here. So we're doing much better this year. And the really interesting thing there is that I haven't changed anything. It's not because, I'm doing something different this year than last year. I'm doing the exact same thing I was doing last year. It's just the way the market is more in line with our strategy. But it was still profitable even when it wasn't aligned with our strategy. And this is the P&L curve here. So you can see this looks a lot like, first of all, a lot like our Webull P&L curve when we look at the year to date. So this should kind of also, I don't know if there's any way that you could possibly think I'm faking any of this data because I'm showing you my Webull account, but just in case you are, if you look at this, the shape of this curve, it exactly mimics this spreadsheet. And the only difference here is that this is just tracking one single share, where obviously Webull is going to take into account all of my shares that I trade with. If I go to the SPXL chart, you can see the various, I shouldn't show you my position though. Yeah, don't copy this because you don't know how this stuff works yet. So I really suggest you not to copy my upcoming position unless you've read the trading plan and you fully understand it. But here, let's just go to currently. You can see how if I click on these trades, you can see the position size there. So we're not just trading with one single share. I'm trading with 1/3 of my account on every single trade. There you can see it was only 6 because the account was a little bit smaller then. That was probably before a deposit. So you can see there that we're trading with multiple shares. That was all that I really wanted to show you there. And the spreadsheet is just tracking one single share, but still it looks very similar, the P&L curve, and these are all of the trades year to date. And we can go down and see June and see that it's exactly like the other chart that we showed, except for I just have the data for the month there instead of overall. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you. That was a lot of data, a lot of information. I try to really give as much away as I can in each video, but if you want to know the ins and outs of the trading plan and how to trade this plan the way I do, go to patreon.com/tradingarmor and everything is there for you. If not, just try to mimic my style here as far as the way that I developed this plan. I back tested it. I came up with a very simple concept for getting in and out of trades and not using emotion, things like that. This is not discretionary trading. This is systematic trading, and I think that's really your best bet. Otherwise, it's kind of more like gambling, and I just don't think that's sustainable long term. It definitely isn't for me. Maybe it is for some people, but not for me. So yeah, hopefully this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. Hit the like if it was helpful. And as always, go into every single trade with a plan. Stick to that plan no matter what. Always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.